Yeah, Stella, baby. Finna get right. Here we go. Yeah, listen. I ain't really trying to hold too much pride. Feeling like Michael, how I beat those odds, yeah. She's a real winner, and I can't deny she fine as wine with time. I don't really care for the clout nor fame, but you better make sure you know my name, yeah. This is real life, and it ain't no game. When you see me in the skyline, knock me down, come back up. Watch your work, watch your stride now. I don't care what they say, I'ma still have my way. I'm alright, that's for sure. I know I can endure. Back and forth, on and on. Yes, I'm on quite a run, yeah.
Welcome to Rooted Within Her, your go-to podcast. We are founded off of Colossians 2:7, where we are rooted in Christ, strengthening our faith, and overflowing with thankfulness. I am Brittany Bossup, your host, a devoted mom, veteran, mental health therapist, author, international keynote speaker, and your wealth and wellness coach. We are going to be talking about mental health, storytelling, relationships, and making sure you feel empowered with a positive mindset each and every day. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. That's at Rooted Within Her. And go to our website, rootedwithinher.com, where you can get access to all of our resources to help you if you are a corporation looking to restructure your employee wellness, or if you are a divorced mom and you are looking for those resources to help you heal and rebuild. This is your go-to podcast. Again, that is rootedwithinher.com. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to Rooted Within Her. Today we have an amazing guest who is super phenomenal, Mr. Eton. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing? How's everything?
Going great. We're just so excited you took the time to be on Rooted Within Her. We're just super excited that you are here joining us today. So tell us about yourself. Who are you? All that great stuff.
Well, my name is Eton White. I'm the author, one of the co-authors of Super Churro, which is a book that I wrote with my two kids. My daughter is 8, my son is 7, and I'm a retired detective that just dove into this writing situation by my kids pushing me. So that's who I am.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Now, you have to tell us a story because there are so many children who aspire to do great things. And a lot of times, especially coming from the educational field, they believe that they have to wait until they're grown to really make an impact and make a difference. And I tell people all the time, you don't. And so for someone who's listening, who is like, see, I'm trying to get you out here. You can do it. You can do it. Tell us about that. What was that driving force behind making it all come to fruition?
Well, I think the driving force would definitely be my kids. They don't have limitations in their mind, and they think you as the parent are like a superhero yourself. So when they were discussing different ideas that popped up, and they said, "Oh, I saw that sound like a book." They was like, "Yeah, Daddy, let's do a book." Like they didn't think for a moment that it couldn't be done. And that gave me the courage to, number one, figure out how to do it, and then to persevere. So that motivating driving force was definitely my kids. And once you put your mind to something, anything is possible.
That's right. That's right. And so what about yourself? What is that driving force for you to just keep accomplishing things and going to the next level? And the reason I ask you that is because as a mental health therapist, I have so many people who come to me and they just feel like because this happened in their life, that's it. And they really can't see past what they actually see. And we know that's where you got to have faith. That's where you got to really dig deep and see, okay, what is it that I really want to accomplish? What do I really want to do? And so for yourself, how do you really push yourself to just keep going? Yes, our children inspire us, but how do you push yourself to know that you're on the right track to get things done?
Well, I have more time on my hands now. So idle hands is the devil's workshop. So what motivates me is that I want to know that I'm doing something that could help someone. And I had a lot of people help me through my journey, through all different types of things. And I want to be that person that can help someone else, whether it be a child, whether it be a person. If they can learn from my experiences or get inspiration from that, then I feel like I'm passing it on because someone has helped me to this point.
So you're paying it forward.
Paying it forward, paying
Yes,
it forward. Yeah.
yes, that's so good. And I think that's really good too because there's so many people who, even for themselves, they aspire to write a book and they've been working on that book for 10 years. And so
Mhm.
one thing I always ask, because my job is to ruffle some feathers as a
Yeah.
therapist, I'm like, you must not really want it. Do you really want it? And they're like, of course I want it. Well, you haven't, people go where they want to go. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. And I've learned as we study people is that people are going to make it happen if they really want something to happen. And so it's really about what do you want to do next? And so for my listeners who are like, I don't want to take more time away from the children, what advice would you give them? Because I think this is great. Let's do this as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the sky is the limit. And then you're showing them what entrepreneurship looks like or being
Mm-hmm.
able to really have a goal or have a thought and really make it become something tangible. So what advice would you give to a parent who is like, I don't want to take away time from my children, but I know I really want to do this?
Well, that's a great question. And I think the first thing I would tell them was what my sister told me, and it was just start.
Mm,
Those simple words were so powerful for me because you're always going to have things and distractions and things that you have to take care in life. But you have to start something to finish something.
that's right.
And the hardest part is just committing to your mind that I will start. And once you start, you can take your time, do this, do that, but just put deadlines, put them in concrete. All right, at this time, I'm going to be here. At this point, I'm going to get that. You may not reach those deadlines, but it's going to keep you in a time frame. But the most important thing is just starting. And we do a lot of things with our kids. If that was the
Yes.
case, a lot of things wouldn't be done. You still got to work. You got kids, right? You still
Right.
got to go
We
to
can't be like,
social
I can't
gatherings.
because I got to. No, they don't want to hear
No,
it. You
you can
fired.
still go. And guess what? If you involve the kids in the process, and it may not be a kid book, but you can read it to them and see how it sounds. You'll be surprised of their insight and how they can pinpoint certain things and say, "Well, that don't sound right." Maybe you can reword that a little bit. And but just start will be my key point to starting something. Well,
Yes.
creating something.
I love that. I love that. Our kids know so much more and they have so much more access to what we didn't have, growing up.
Absolutely.
So it's really about really trusting the process. And as you
Yeah.
were talking, you were reminding me of the scripture in the Bible that says that we are the clay and God is the potter. And we just
Absolutely.
have to really trust God to mold us and mold the whole family unit, everything together, because it
Absolutely.
doesn't have to be like this is a mine and this is a us. No, we have to merge it all together. And
Yeah.
even more so after COVID, people have have the ability to really merge everything with work, the kids, household, everything. And so it's really about if you really truly want to do it. Because if it's something else blocking you, you might want to seek help or see what can help you to really see what are those blockages in my life. Why do I have this? And it could be because you don't feel like you're good enough.
Can I add one thing?
Go ahead.
Um, if it's for you, what God got for you, no one can take from you.
Come
So
on.
you may look at it, it may look bleak, it may look like it's not working, things ain't fitting together, and you can't see how it will fit together.
Right.
But that's not your job.
That's right.
Your job is not to figure out how it will work. That's God's job. God's gonna put it all together and fix everything and make it work seamlessly. And you're gonna be like, dang, I didn't even know this was gonna happen like this, but it's gonna flow the way it's supposed to flow. Don't try to figure it out. That's
That's
not your
right.
job. leave it in his hands, and he'll figure it out for you.
That's right. Every single time. Yes. So, as a therapist, I have to ask you this question because we deal with a lot of childhood. So, in your childhood, did you ever dream you would be the person that you are today? Did it map out kind of the way you thought, like you would be a detective and do all these things, or not at all?
Well, that's this is all right. Let's get into it. Okay, I never wanted to become a cop, a detective, anything in law enforcement. Right, that was not my goal. I wanted to be a radio personality. That's what I thought. I said, yo, I can talk to people. People gonna like the personality. I'm just get me on the radio. Let me show my skills. I can talk all day. Right, so that's what I wanted to be, or comedian. But that didn't work out. Right. So, while I was in school studying media communications, doing a little bit of short film and stuff like that, so the NYPD test came up, and my mother said, "Boy, you should go ahead and take that test now." I said, "What test?" "The PD test." I said, "Ma, I ain't taking no. I ain't trying to be no cop." She said, "Just take it. You need a plan B. Now they're giving it away, and I pay for it." My mother's from the South Carolina, so it sounds similar like to that. So I said, all right, I'm gonna take this test. I got no intentions on doing this, right?
Right.
So I take the test. I found out the test was free. So
Okay.
this is what I was gonna do, right? I said the test is free, but it used to be $35. I'm gonna take that $35 from my mom, and that's gonna be gas money for me. So
Oh my
I
gosh.
drive back home to my mom's house. I'm like, yo, mom, I'm ready to take that test. I need that money. She said, Tamara told me it's free. That's my sister. I said, what? Yeah, it's free now. You don't need no money from me. Just go down there and take it. I said, oh, Ma, I need that money for gas money. See? You wasn't going to do right. You wasn't going to do right. I give you some money, but don't be trying to trick me. So she gave me the money, so now I got some gas money, so I'm good now. I go take the test. That's the first test I took with no pressure.
Wow.
Because I didn't care if I passed or failed or whatever.
Right.
So I just went on there, jotted it down, did it. Passed the test with flying colors.
Wow.
Now, I still wasn't going to do it, but then they sent me notifications, oh, take the agility and the physical test. I'm like, oh, this may be fun. I just want to see what cops do. Let me do that. I could jump over things, drag dummies and all this. I just want to see what it's going to look like. I did all that. Still wasn't going to do it. Then got married, and I had a child on the way. And this is like 4 years later. Now they hold your test results for 5 years.
Oh my
4
goodness.
years later, my daughter's on the way, Emil, my oldest, and she's 20 now. She's 20 now, and I was working for AT&T, and they was doing a takeover, so I was gonna lose my job. So, in the same time, they called me and they said, "Hey, do you want to take this test? If not, we canceling your list number. You're not gonna be able to do this." And I looked at my daughter and I was like, I need something more stable. I can't be doing this. And that's how I joined the academy.
Wow.
So, yeah. Sorry to take so much time on that story.
No, that's good. That's what people want to hear.
So my dream was to, at some point, have a briefcase. This is what, as a little kid, I remember saying, I want to have a briefcase. I want to dress in suits like my dad. And I want to work midday and get off early, right? That was my plan.
Right.
So I end up being in a suit because I got promoted to
Got that
detective, briefcase.
Okay.
And before that, I was working community affairs, so which is like a police officer that is the go-between between the political organizations, elected officials, and community leaders. You help devise different programs where you get the community together, outreach to merge differences. And I got to create my own schedule then. So all the things that I asked for that I really wanted, I had at one point in time throughout my career.
It just looked different. It wasn't how you wanted it to look or how you
So now I got a briefcase full of Super Churro books.
That's right. That's right. But that's good you shared that story. That's a great story because of the fact that, how many times do we not want to listen, to our parents? But God has a great plan in store. If we just take the step, we have to apply ourselves. So had you never taken the test, then you would have been like, what do I do?
I needed that gas money. Man. That's funny.
Yes, yes. And now this is a way for you to honor your mom, is with the
Yes,
books for you
yes,
and your children.
yes. Because
Amazing.
it's dedicated to her, and there's little Easter eggs throughout the book that pay tribute to her as well, and the educational components because she was an educator, by the way.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's so funny you said that because my background is education. And when I tell you, I would always tell people, I would never, you won't catch me in the classroom. I was there. I was there. But you know
Wow.
what? That experience humbled me because I always thought things were like when I went to school, we listened to the teacher,
Yeah.
and things are just different. I was so used to saying sit down and expecting kids to sit down. And I'm like, I know I told you to sit down. Why are you still standing up? Like, so, but it forever humbled me. And then that's when I began to realize, like, oh no, these children need more than a teacher. You got to be
Mm,
everything from their mama to the auntie to the
wow.
counselor. And,
Wow.
it's just really knowing that the work that we do every day is beyond us. And so, what you and your children are doing with Super Churro is beyond us. It's beyond
Thank you
us.
so much. Thank you so
It's
much. I really appreciate
serving.
that.
So, yes. And who would ever know? Super Churro.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Super chill. I can't believe it myself how it just came from a costume and now all of this is created. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So our listeners who are listening, as we come to a close, how can they go and purchase Super Churro and just really stay connected with you and your children?
Okay. You can Super Churro on Facebook, Super Churro on Instagram, and you can get it at Amazon.com, and you can get it on Barnes and Nobles right now. And at LitCon, when I'm at LitCon, yeah.
Hey.
hey, hey. But yeah, those would be the prominent spots. Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of LitCon, what was your experience like? Because LitCon is for authors and educating the community on the books and why you wrote your book and things of that nature. So what was your experience like with LitCon?
Oh man, LitCon was amazing. Especially being a new author, everybody welcomed me in. And I met some great people. I met some friends. I actually connected on a lot of different levels in LitCon, and it was just a great experience. Exposure, interviews, the touching the authors, getting their experience, learning how they set up their things. I was just sitting there just stealing all the ideas. Like, oh, I'm using that next. Boom, I'm using that
Noted.
next.
Noted.
And just to have the way you guys just ran everything so professional. It was just a great experience for me, and it was my first one, so it definitely was near and dear to me.
Oh,
I
love that.
appreciate
Love
it.
that. And that's what it's supposed to be, a family unit. Everyone is sticking together with a common goal that brought us all together, but knowing like this is lifelong partnerships. And we're
Mhm.
even teaching our children like these are the type of communities you want to be a part of. People who are really
Absolutely.
going to inspire you and push you to be the best version of yourself.
Hmm.
So, as we come to a final close, tell us, do you have like a favorite scripture or favorite quote that you would love to leave our listeners with so they can feel empowered throughout their day?
Um, Favorite quote will be "No weapon formed against me shall prosper."
Yes.
Um, 23rd Psalm. Can't
That's
go wrong with that.
that's right.
It's bread and butter. Can't go wrong
Yes.
with that. So those would be my two.
Yeah. And how he will prepare a table in front of our enemies. I said now as
Hmm.
you get older, you're like, oh man, now I know
It hits different. It hits different.
it's
It's different.
right. Because as a kid, you like prepare a table. Enemies. I don't have any enemies. Oh, keep living. And you learn just you being you. That just agitates people. And
That's
so,
amazing, right? That's
right.
amazing how just you not trying to bother anybody, just trying to run your race,
Mm.
and people don't like the way you running.
Oh,
You
right.
running with a smile on your face. I don't
Mm.
like that. You look too happy. And you smile a lot. I smile a lot.
Right.
Sometimes people don't like to see you smile.
That's
They
right.
don't like to see you smile. So what my mother would say, they don't like to see you smile. Smile some more.
Hello.
Smile
Drop the
some more.
mic.
Yeah, smile some more. Keep smiling.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, again, we are so excited to have you. And one more
Thank
time,
you.
how can our listeners make sure they get a copy of Super Churro?
Yeah, let them come out. Come out. Support us. It's definitely a great book. It's funny. It's from a kid's perspective, so the kids are really going to get more from it than you will because it's from their perspective,
Yes.
and it has humor, it has values, it has educational components, and it has a family dynamic. So
That's
just
right.
definitely come out and support. Appreciate it if you
All
can.
right. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time to
you.
be
Thank
on
you.
Ready with Your Her. And we will definitely have you on for future episodes.
Appreciate it. Appreciate.
Thank you for listening to Rooted Within Her, your number one go-to podcast. If you heard something today that resonated with you, make sure you screenshot, tag us on all social media platforms, tell us what your thoughts were, what were your takeaways, and make sure you go to rootedwithinher.com so you can access all of our resources, join our challenges, find out about life coachings, and don't forget about our amazing, phenomenal retreats. So make sure you go to rootedwithinher.com. And again, thank you for listening. And I want you to have a super phenomenal day because you are God's masterpiece.
Say, I must still have my way. I'm alright, that's for sure.